Hi, this is Martin Drummond with Progressive News. Hi, this is Martin Drummond with Progressive News. It's Saturday, December 7th, 2019. And I wanted to start out today presenting my latest theory because I think I've solved a major theory in astrophysics. Uh, Gravity. Gravity is one of the big theories out there that everybody's working on, and I think I've solved it. I think I'll open up so here it is. Now you can think of this as a particle or as the Earth. So my theory about oh well, this isn't going to show up in your thing, is it? Okay. So how do we do this? Okay, I'll just use my mouse. Okay, let's say this a circle here is a particle, or the Earth. The Earth is a particle. I know we don't like to think of it that way, like we're a tiny little particle floating in, an infinite universe. But what I've solved is, see, when you talk about astrophysics, I forget what it is, but basically everything's got to fit together, right? So I have a bunch of theories that all fit together. I mean, one is that space is, or that the universe is infinite, so it's infinite spatially. You can go as far as you want and you never come to the end. Time. I've come up with a whole bunch of dimensions. As a matter of fact, there are probably an infinite amount, but I'm only able to think of so many. Size. So infinitely larger and smaller particles. And one of my first theories is called Martin's Law, and that everything is push. There's no such thing as pull. So like pull is like a magical idea. Okay, so like the Earth, the sun is out there and it pulls the Earth towards it, but we're just in a perfect place where we don't fall into the sun, right? So, let me do this. Flat Earth. So let's take this picture, right? See if we can get a... Okay, so here's the Earth, right? Come on. So, what keeps us pinned to the ground? What keeps us circling around the sun? Okay, so my theory is because my theory is that, one of my many theories is that uh, there's infinite like particles. So like if you take just a cubic inch of Earth's atmosphere, there's actually an infinite amount of particles in there. They're just smaller and smaller and smaller, right? So what I'm saying is, under that theory, there's just a multitude of particles going on that we don't understand. Okay, so my theory, the way I've solved my push theory, is that there are actually infinite number of particles hitting the Earth from all directions. So if you're sitting here in the United States, there's infinite amount of particles flowing down towards the Earth. Let me say you're sitting out here in the ocean on a boat or something. So from this direction, hitting you from above, there's an infinite amount of particles, and that's gravity. That's what causes gravity, is that there's an infinite amount of particles flying from that direction directly onto the top of you, pushing you down onto the Earth. Okay? Now, does that mean that the center of the Earth has something to do with that? I don't know. I'm still formulating this idea in my head. But exactly how it works, it has to be push. So the Earth doesn't magically reach out and pull us onto the face of the Earth. It's actually particles coming from outer space. Now, we all know that the mass of the Earth somehow it has something to do with the particles hitting the Earth, right? So they're hitting the Earth, holding you down. So you know, I could leave that up to you. I will think about it long and hard until I finally, if I think about something long enough, the answer comes to me. I believe that there is like a network connection with reality, that we have a basic understanding of reality simply because we exist. And for some reason, you know, if I think about something long enough, I come up with the answer. And in this case, I came up with the answer that the particles are streaming from every direction in towards the Earth. Now, my instinct is to think that the mass of the Earth does have something to do with that. But my instinct also tells me that it's got to do with, you know, my theory about there being infinitely larger and smaller particles, and they're all, you know, whizzing through the universe. And so which is it? Is gravity simply a symptom of the universe, of these particles whizzing through the universe, or is it subject to the mass of the planet? Now, obviously, most people would say, well, it's subject to the mass of the planet. But it could be kind of in between those two. Or it could be, you know, that it may, and the name of the theory is the unification theory. So that's where you say that You know, your laws and theories all have to come together to sort of support each other. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe the mass of the Earth is a symptom of all these infinite particles, and obviously the Earth started out as I don't know how small of a particle, but because of collision, I guess, it built up and built up and built up. So maybe uh, heavenly bodies are simply random points in space that tend to accumulate all these infinite particles, infinitely larger and smaller, infinite number, infinite in time, all this stuff. Maybe they're just points in space where they just randomly accumulated and you end up with a planet. But you know, you have to think of it in terms of infinite universe, because in an infinite universe, this Earth could be a particle that's just tiny, right? Or you can think of it compared to a speck of dust on, you know, here on Earth as being huge. More questions than answers, right? I think that's what science is all about. So that's my new theory for push, supporting push. I mean, I know that they're bombarding down on top of people. That's for sure. The question is why and how. So, you know, that's basically where I'm at now. I guess once that particle starts accumulating and becoming bigger until it's an Earth, you know, something like the Earth, I guess that might be the catalyst for gravity, you know, as these things. So collision would be the catalyst for gravity. Once you have particles colliding and coalescing and becoming, you know, a thing, and then pulling, I hate to say pull because it's push, but you know, and then again, maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe push is the magical aspect of the infinite universe. Who knows? But again, more questions than answers. And I encourage everybody to think about it, because the more people who think about it, and of course experiment. Now, I don't have the money to buy huge machines, gravity meters or whatever, but you know, the community out there, and that's what I say is wrong with the community. They're so stuck in Newton and Einstein's theories. They need to open themselves up, because when I watched a show the other day on this, they talked about how, oh, once we thought it was an infinite universe, da 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 da, but Einstein and Newton, da 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 da. So Einstein and Newton's framework in their minds ruled out the idea that the universe is infinite in any way. Very much a finite universe. So I think we have to open up our minds to the idea that it might not be finite. certainly do to work within the theoretical universe that I've constructed. This is Martin Drummond. Thanks for watching.